You're listening to Alaska Real Estate Podcast. I'm Chris Story, your host for great adventures in real estate. Today, you'll hear from President Angie Tallent up in Fairbanks and President Owen in Anchorage. Plus, Buying Alaska is coming back stronger than ever. You'll remember it was one of last year's top-ranked shows on Discovery Channel. How can you get involved? Stay tuned and find out. All that and more coming up here on Alaska Real Estate. Today's podcast brought to you by Alaska Housing Finance Corporation, your trusted partner in Alaska real estate. The Energy Rebate Program is alive and well. Check it out at akrebate.com. And remember, who's promoting real estate all over Alaska when you hear the tales of Matt and Jen? That would be Alaska Housing Finance Corporation. And Alaska USA Title Agency. Crystal and her team put your clients' needs first with timely prelims and on-time closings. Find out why so many people are working with Alaska USA Title Agency. Please help me welcome Owen, your Anchorage Board President. You're president of the Anchorage Board of Realtors for the entire 2013, or do you anticipate getting impeached at any point? Or
No, I'm not sure if I'll be assassinated.
Oh, nice. Oh, man. It's that good already, huh?
Yeah, no, we're doing good. And yes, I will be the 2013 president. I'm still getting used to stepping back into the role.
What challenges do you see before you this year that the board's got to face?
One of the main challenges is really trying to help all of our membership and staying on top of what's going on with the lending market, as it is just constant changes going on. We got a new one from Alaska Housing that just went through on the 19th that no one seemed to know about, and we're trying to jump those hurdles. And making sure that they've got all the education that they need. Obviously, it is a renewal year, and at the same time, you have to stay on top of your game. I mean, this is an ever-changing market, and I think we're seeing that more now than ever before. So we're really trying to make sure we bring education that is quality and is pertinent to their job.
And how do you do that? Is that something that you're working on? Do you have an education committee that's helping spearhead that and bring people in, or is it people already in an Anchorage area that are helping out with that?
It's a combination of both. We do have an education committee, and although we're open to suggestions, and people are wonderful about telling me they heard someone or telling me what they need. This is an area that I'm really struggling in, and are you guys going to be offering anything? And following up with that, making sure that we're providing what it is they're asking for. We did manage to secure two great people that will be coming in this year. Heard one of them in Chicago when I was there last year. He was absolutely incredible, and his name is Jason Pantana. He's out of Nashville, and he was part of the Rethink. He's one of the facilitators for the Rethink that NAR leadership had going on at the time. And so we actually went to him and asked him if he would construct an entire CE 4-hour course that will be along the lines of Rethink and the future of real estate, because obviously the way we do real estate now is nothing like we did even 10 years ago. And where are we headed, and how are we supposed to be doing it? His primary field has been technology, so we're also going to have 4 hours of a technology base as well.
What's the mood of the market within the realtor organization? Are people peppy and upbeat and looking forward to this year? People are optimistic, pessimistic? What's your sense of that?
I'm seeing a real mix all across the board, and I think a lot of it has to do with how their business was last year. The majority, in my opinion, though, is really more upbeat than pessimistic. I've talked to so many people, especially since the first of the year, that they're saying, this is it, this is the year, we're coming back in, we've seen the end of the decline, we know that we've had a 1% increase in Anchorage, economically as well as in the market, housing, and so we're obviously coming back. Seeing a lot of hope, and I'd love to nurture that.
Yeah, definitely. Are your numbers up for membership or down from last year? Do you know?
Our numbers are pretty much flat. We lost as many as we gained. We're in the upper 800s, and it seems like we're getting as many new as drop out. And actually, they're not so much dropping out as a lot of them are just going to, there's icing it for right now. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if they're going to come back, or if they're just going to stay in referral status, or what they're going to do. But many of them have opted not to be completely active, yet they haven't really dropped the license completely. I know that we hold all of the ethics courses when someone new first comes on, and we've had some packed houses in the last couple months, 31 months and 32 another month. And I mean, it's just like, wow, all of you, really?
Right. Did I miss a memo?
I know.
Yeah.
I mean, some of them, they are just behind on getting it, and of course their deadline was coming up. But we did see an awful lot of new realtors come on the scene in the last year.
That's good. I mean, I like to see that. It's such a, I think to me, that's a bellwether or a canary in the cave of what the public at large thinks about the market is how many people want to enter it as a realtor and pursue their lifelong passion, or just they see it as an easy way to make money or whatever, but still it's a great way to gauge, I guess, what's happening elsewhere. Well,
Absolutely. And it's good to have youth. I mean, we have to keep it going if we're going to, remain alive and thriving as an industry. And when I was actively searching for people to go and run for the board, for new directors that we had seats that were opening up, I purposely pursued young, newer realtors. They had to have a little bit under their belt so that at least they knew what a contract was. However,
we'll get picky.
We wanted, I know. We did want some young blood because it's a new ball game out there, and they have a lot that they can teach us. It's not a good old boys real estate industry anymore.
Yeah, and when you say run for the board, you can't be handing out walkers all the time. You got to have people that can run.
Exactly. Exactly.
That was not even funny. Well, talk about the municipality of Anchorage. Is there anything that you're facing from the business side of things up there, developmentally, land shortages, the bridge, the Kinnick Bridge? What are some of the larger municipal issues that you're facing and the board is watching?
Well, we're always looking at that bridge and wondering if it's going to stay a pipe dream forever. I know that they've gotten some drawings in, and they go 3 steps forward, 2 steps back on a pretty regular basis. Of course, we're seeing a lot of base activity. We have a lot coming in March, a huge number of new troops coming in toward the latter part of March, which is a big part of the reason that we're bringing up Peely Meyer, who has the Certified Military Relocation Specialist.
Owen, it's always a pleasure. As we close out here, would you care to sing us out?
Do you have a request?
Oh, there's so many.
Strangers in the night. That's probably not appropriate.
Not till after convention. All right, Dad, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Chris.
And now, bundle up as we head up to Fairbanks. What's going on in Fairbanks this year? Do you have a full agenda for your board?
We've had a lot of great presidents. We've had a lot of great things happen with the Fairbanks board. We're really fortunate in a lot of different ways, owning our own MLS and having gaming revenue for education. We also have a lot of outstanding projects and things that need to be completed. I'm looking to just kind of finish up policy and procedures overhaul, put in a social media policy for the board office, doing a revision of the bylaws and going to vote just to get those updated. Just projects like that, really focusing a lot of my energy to just building the foundation of the Greater Fairbanks Board. And then that way, the future presidents will be able to have specific goals and will be able to achieve those goals.
For the benefit of other regions, I love to share, and that's one of the things I love about this podcast is the sharing of information statewide. What do you see as a goal or a worthy avenue of using social media for the board? How do you intend to implement that or expand on it?
Well, our board already utilizes social media, Facebook and Twitter accounts, but with that, giving that information out to the membership and actually to the public for that matter, there should be policies in place to make sure that information is accurate and appropriate.
That makes a lot of sense. What else is going on?
Well, it's the education year. I'm sure all your presidents are going to be talking about that and the education that we're going to be bringing to the interior. We're actually co-hosting a lot of different events with the Anchorage board and just bringing up to Fairbanks Jason Pantone and Peely Meyer for different courses. We, of course, are going to be having a couple CE marathons. We're planning on doing one in April, and then we'll be doing one again later in the year, possibly later November, for our members that needed a little more time to get their CE completed.
April.
Yeah. And so we'll be focusing on education. Our forms committee has actually done a lot of great work over the past couple of years, just revising our forms and making those also more current. And so they are tasked with finishing the board-approved forms that we have currently on file, and finishing those updates to everything that they weren't able to accomplish last year. So that will be completed. And then YPN is another thing that's super close to my heart. Our YPN is very active and growing all the time, and we plan on having different events. Our next event's actually in 2 weeks. We'll be doing a speed networking event. We do a membership drive every year, and then this will be our third annual golf tournament that we host for the board and for our affiliates. So we're really excited about that, and we'll be actually an active part of the 2013 convention there in Anchorage. So we're excited to kind of co-sponsor something, a YPN event with Anchorage YPN that's newly formed.
At the Captain Cook.
Yep.
Looking forward to that. Well, that's really neat. Now, energy has been a big issue, obviously, for the greater Fairbanks area. What's on the horizon to solve some of the energy problems and albeit a crisis? What's on the horizon there?
Well, I'm actually hoping to ask our legislators that when we go to lobby in Juneau in March. Something I want to see what their plan is for us, because we definitely need help. Everybody knows that. Another concern of the interiors is the Eielson base closure. We're excited to see today that Lisa Murkowski has sponsored a bill to save Alaska Saves Eielson, to hopefully save the base from any type of permanent closure.
Both of those issues would be really hard-hitting on your real estate market, no doubt.
Yeah, Eielson closure has the potential to close down the entire town of North Pole.
Great stuff, Angie Tallent. It sounds like Fairbanks is looking out for a good year. What's the mood on, and I asked Owen the same thing from Anchorage, and I'll ask you, what's the mood of licensees? What's the mood of licensees around Fairbanks? Is there a sense of excitement, with the exception, obviously, of the Eielson question mark? But in general about real estate, are the licensees and your board members excited and looking forward to a successful 2013?
I do believe they are. I think that there's a lot of business. Actually, we're having a very busy January, more so than normal, and I think, people are looking at that and looking at, the balance of this year will bring, and they really, truly believe that it'll be a great year. Yep, we are feeling optimistic here in Fairbanks.
All right, thanks, Angie. Really appreciate your time today.
All right, thanks, Chris. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Diet and Angie. Keep your browser pointed here as we talk to your board presidents from all over Alaska. What if I told you you could get the word out to millions of people about buying real estate in Alaska and it wouldn't cost you a dime? Well, Buying Alaska is back, baby, stronger than ever. Ending the first season as one of the top-ranked programs on Discovery Channel, Buying Alaska Season 2 is gearing up right now. Listen up, Anchorage and Fairbanks, and all points in between. Don't be nervous. Go back and listen to our podcast from last fall. Everybody had a great time, and Philip Alderfer will tell you that his phone rings every time Buying Alaska airs. At least look into it. Call Steve Bronstein with Paper Route Productions. He's the producer. His number is 845-920-1300. That's 845-920-1300. He's a great guy. He's down to earth, and guess what? He didn't even suggest that my people do lunch with his people. He's real people. Or you can even email Steve at, write this down now, AlaskanHomes30@gmail.com. That's AlaskanHomes30@gmail.com. Don't let this chance pass you by. Give Steve Bronstein a call today, 845-920-1300. Buying Alaska Season 2 could be you. Today's podcast made possible thanks to the support of Alaska USA Mortgage Company. From single family to multifamily, AKUSA has an expert for you. In-house processing and in-house underwriting makes Alaska USA Mortgage Company your one-stop shop. They're dedicated to serving your buyers' needs every time. Check them out online, alaskausamortgage.com. Well, that's it for this edition of Alaska Real Estate. Sandy Ehrenman's your executive producer. For all of us at Alaska Real Estate, I'm Chris Story, wishing you health, wealth, and prosperity.